Right now, the current state of anime games isn't looking all that great. Of course, we have games like Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4 and Naruto Storm Connections coming, but at this time, if you're a fan of anime-inspired games, there's not much new things out there for you to play. That leads me into the topic of today's video, where we talk about SCARLET NEXUS. This game released back in June of 2021 and actually sold pretty well, hitting over 1 million copies sold and 2 million players worldwide by April of 2022. Obviously, we're in 2023 now, but this game may still be worth your time. It's almost always on sale and is available on multiple platforms. Right now, you can pick it up for past or next-gen consoles for less than $20. Now let's get into why this could scratch that itch you've had for a good anime game. The introduction in SCARLET NEXUS is probably the weakest part of the game. It takes a while to get going and to get past character introductions, but once you make it through that, you're in for an enjoyable ride. Throughout the story, you'll have bond episodes with each of your comrades, filling holes in the story and sometimes giving you a look into that character's backstories, future ambitions, and the feelings on the current situation you're facing in the story. These bond episodes also level up your bond with each character, leading to an increase of abilities while in combat. You can also increase your bond with characters by giving them gifts. These gifts will be shown in a hideout as the story continues. While they add a nice touch and show the bond between you and your allies, it's not something you necessarily are forced to do to move the story further or to even complete the game. Following the main story could lead you to side quests that will pop up around the different areas of the map. None of these are required to complete the main story and also can be completed at a later date in the game if you don't want to deal with them right away. Now, this aspect of SCARLET NEXUS will keep you in awe, and that's the combat. You can play as two different characters in Yuito or Kasane. They share the same ability in psychokinesis, which is the ability to launch various objects in the game's environment to deal damage to your enemies. That's pretty much where the similarities as far as combat end though. Yuito is faster and prefers close combat compared to Kasane, who's slower and more of a mid-range fighter. This adventure isn't something you'll be taking on alone though. Depending on the character you choose to start the game with will decide what supporting characters help you through the beginning portions of your adventure. These characters all have different and unique abilities that Kasane or Yuito can combine with their own during combat to deal some pretty hefty damage. During my playthrough, I definitely had my favorites out of the abilities, but each one has its uses and provides a fun change of pace for the gameplay overall. This aspect of the game gave me more of a reason to play both stories to see how the abilities change the early game for each character. And lastly is the Brain Field. Brain Field is an ultimate ability that Yuito or Kasane can enter while in combat to gain the upper hand with increased damage, movement speed, and a boost to their psychokinesis abilities. One thing I couldn't get over while playing SCARLET NEXUS was the music and the presentation of the game itself. This game has beautiful levels throughout, showing off some of its futuristic and brainpunk qualities while also keeping you entertained with the amazing soundtrack. This amazing soundtrack is also followed by a pretty solid performance from the voice actors in English and Japanese. But if I had to nitpick and complain, I would say a couple of things I'm not the biggest fan of is how linear the levels are in some areas, and I'm not a fan of how the cutscenes are done in the game. It's almost as if the cutscenes are done in a manga type style, where each cutscene has a panel and a story is told through those. Some of the cutscenes are fully animated, but they are few and far between one another, and due to the large amount of dialogue, it does make it difficult to get through some of the cutscenes toward the end of the game. Overall, SCARLET NEXUS is a must play in my opinion if you're a fan of anime games and are looking for something original and new to sink your teeth into. Of course, it comes with cliches like many other anime games before it, but we should applaud companies for taking risks and trying new things like Bandai Namco did with this game in SCARLET NEXUS. It offers upward of 40 plus hours of gameplay to complete both Yuito's and Kasane's main stories, while also offering great customization to make your group of heroes different from player to player. So for those looking for something to hold them over to the release of some of these new huge anime games we have coming soon, look no further, because with great combat, amazing music, and an interesting and layered story, SCARLET NEXUS is the game for you. Well everyone, I want to first thank you for watching today's video, and I'll remind you that if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the like button and also hit that big red button to subscribe to the channel. If you have some thoughts, please don't forget to leave them down below in the comment section as well. But it's been your boy Kasuke, and I'm out. Peace.